That's what we want, right?
You're also making more TikTok
it is what we
content
want.
and showing off cool dice that I want. But that's
I want that jacket.
Aren't they the jacket's so
cute.
cool, the dice. Everything that I ordered like during quarantine last year just came in. It's not like I've been going shopping now. That's me a year ago trapped.
We're live, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah, we're live.
What's that?
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. What's up, bro?
Hey, it's the What's Up Bro podcast. We talk movies, sports, TV shows, pop culture, and it's funny, motherfuckers. With nary signs. I'm like, what? How can this... They have Photoshop. Photoshop exists when this artist rendition was done. How the fuck is this not cooler looking than a sketch that looks like it was done by a hillbilly off the side of the road? What the fuck are we talking? Why is this a thing?
So you're telling me there's a chance?
With Missy.
Just let me finish my thought before you fucking interrupt me. Wrong room to ask questions.
Welcome to the party, pal!
And Mike Markadal.
I'm just glad I like vanilla, boring sex like this. I'm glad that the sex I enjoy won't get me killed.
That's how winning is done.
Hey, I'm Dave Chappelle, and this is What's Up, Bro.
All right. Welcome to the What's Up Bro podcast. Your favorite podcast where you come to listen to people talk and debate over shit that they don't really know much about. I am Nary Signs. With me, as usual, is Missy.
Hello.
And Michael.
What we don't know is that we're on the air, and then surprise, you're on the air.
Or you're scheduled and it's time.
So, Mike, say hi.
Hi.
So that's Mike. Mike, your mic, for some reason, you sound low now.
What?
Yeah, you still sound low.
I'm low.
Yeah. And then Stephanie Mayer Sr.
Hello.
And her morning glow. Her fresh morning glow.
Okay. It's more like morning sweat.
That's called ADD glow. That's what that's called. Whatever medicine that is.
Way to ruin a good time.
I think it's a great time.
Do your drugs, everybody. Do the proper drugs.
Under proper medical supervision.
Doctor supervision.
Or not, man. Don't villainize drugs. A lot of them are just the war on drugs is racist. Let me get started.
Oh God. Oh God, already? Look what you did, you little
5
jerk.
seconds in.
The war on drugs
I'm ready. Let's
is
do it.
racist.
Mary, are you a member of a bowling team now or something? What is that?
What
Guy
bowling team?
Fieri.
What is that jacket that you're wearing?
This is the Flash.
Oh.
And not only that, but it's reversible so that when you reverse it, you're the reverse Flash, motherfucker.
Oh.
What does the
You
reverse
get it.
flash do? Only run backwards?
I was wearing the reverse Flash jacket yesterday during Geekmore. And during the
That was fun.
Geekmore today, I am doing the Flash. Yeah, man. This is let's go to Flavor Town is what I'm trying to say. Let's go to fucking Flavor Town.
I want one of those big Dragon Ball Z shirts that are 3 sizes too big. With a big ass dragon on it. Very shiny.
People of my size just call those shirts that fit.
Shirts, pajama shirts, whatever.
Shirts that fit. That's it. That's what we call that shit. Anywho,
what's up, bro? What are we talking about today? What's the plan?
There's a couple
Are we
of things.
actually gonna go with the plan?
No.
I feel like we have been lately, which is both progress, but also against type. Like we are never the kind of people to go into shit with a plan.
You can't tell me what to do and what to talk about. Talk about whatever I want to talk about. Oh yeah. There's a couple things that I saw that were very interesting. We'll talk about a Netflix show that I saw a trailer for and that looks fucking wild, but we'll talk about that later. But in news of the Britney conservatorship, is that what it's called? Her sister put out a video. Did you see that shit?
I didn't
I didn't watch it. I heard she got eaten alive where people were like,
I?
"Fuck you."
Jamie Lynn Spears.
I've seen hashtag fuck Jamie Lynn Spears around. Like,
She
bro.
thought that was old or
she
something.
put on a
It's the
Hallmark
most-
movie
it's-
worthy performance for
It's
that
the
shit.
most worthy hashtag I've ever fucking seen in my
Really?
life.
Wow.
It is such a bad. Like she did herself so many injustices. One, she comes out looking like a complete asshole of a human being,
Mhm.
of a sister, and if there were any chances of her getting casted in any movie, she shot that down. Like
Right.
there immediately wrecked that. Like there's no way anybody in Hollywood would now hire her because it was like I can't even hire you for somebody who says thank you, come again. There's no way. It's so bad. She says that she's first of all, she tries to de-villainize herself from the beginning, saying things like, people are putting this on me, like I have nothing to do with this. This is between my sister and my father. And then she says things like, quote, I don't care. This is not my business. This has nothing to do with me. And it's like, oh, honey boo boo.
Yeah.
You should
Well-
not care.
What is he
Well, I
doing?
think what she meant was I watched it obviously like 2 minutes after it was posted. She basically gave
She's
a
like the hipster
rundown.
of the Free Britney movement. She's like, yeah.
She's
watched
the
it.
keeping
I
the
hate
minutes.
these little shits better not come at me like we're gonna free Britney, bitch. I've been here the whole time. But
Are you
Like,
trying
wait,
to
you for a Free
bandwagon
Britney? Like you
gatekeep
can't.
the
Huh?
Britney? You're trying to like bandwagon and gatekeep the free Britney
I'm
movement?
not. I get yelled at by young people because it's my generation that did this to her. Actually,
Okay, you got yelled at, or our generation in general got yelled at?
well, I don't know.
Your generation deserves it.
I guess I was a representative in that Instagram post. It was a shit show of a situation, but I was like, "Hi, child."
Did someone yell at you to rotate a PDF?
No,
Oh.
but I have some of that going on at work. So anyway, so Jamie comes on. It was a couple of days after Britney's explosive statements, and she basically came on to say that she is not involved with the conservatorship. That she was only named as the estate, in charge of the estate. Which the punchline will come after the explanation. But she's like, I told my sister to find representation years ago, not in public where it counts. And I love my sister and I've been paying my own bills since I was 10 and blah, 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 blah. It was like a 2-minute rant of basically saying I'm not involved. The thing about being named as the person in charge of her estate is that you get a $6 million check every year for that. So you kind of do get a little bit paid.
So how's she been paying her own bills if not for her sister?
I wonder.
There's a whole thing with her and that guy Dan Schneider. Dan Schneider from the Nickelodeon shows that she was on, because she was on like a show, right? She was on
Zoe something.
right. They're like a
And it was going
notorious.
really well. It was Zoe.
I think
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
Zoe 101 or something.
Mhm.
And then she
Those
got
are
And then she got
and
pregnant.
interchangeable.
and then she got pregnant.
She got
She
pregnant.
got pregnant. The rumor is that this guy who's notoriously like a weirdo foot fetishist with these teen girls, like it's always super fucking creepy. Like it's definitely part of that whole pedophilia shit that goes around in weird places. But there's all of these rumors about this guy Dan Schneider, and they're saying that guy is the actual father of Jamie Lynn Spears' kid.
Oh, poor her if that's the case.
Right.
Not-
I thought it was Crystalia.
Oh,
Eric,
no.
So anyways, you want to tell what else happened in the video, Missy? Because I only saw snippets, and the snippets was enough for me to be like, "You dumb."
Well, at some point it was like a 3-minute video, but at some point she's like she got emotional.
Oh my god, this is the
And
worst.
she did this, ready? So she's talking, her concerned face. And she goes,
No, she brought
like-
up her nephew. She's like, "My only concern is about my sister and my nephews."
and then she goes,
But
like,
there was nothing.
there was nothing there.
It
There
was
was
the
nothing.
Sahara.
It was
It
just
was
like,
the fucking Sahara here, and then there
and
was,
she just she fucked it up. Now, in all
she had
intent,
to remember. She had to remind herself that she was supposed to cry. She's like, "My sister and my nephew,"
You.
and then she goes, and it was like, "Oh."
so the
Oh,
thing is that I have a theory, and my theory is that when Britney did her statements, she said, "My dad and my family." Right? I think she did that to kick the hornet's nest. Is what I think she did, because really the guy who's been in charge, her mom has been trying for years to get her foot in the door of this conservatorship, and she's been denied every single time. So I think her strategy here was, or the strategy here for Britney was to kick the hornet's head. And so she threw everybody in the bus. So now it's everybody's fucking problem. So everybody has to do something about it. To which
is there a chance that the mom was trying to get in charge so she could help her? Or?
Yeah, absolutely.
No, the mom is a legit.
The mom has been trying to help her for years, but she keeps getting denied every time she gets a motion to try to be involved some way, either in her medical stuff or
why
her
was
treatment.
the dad put in charge over the mom?
Because the dad was there first. And the thing is that the New Yorker...
It's like freeze tag. Once you call base, once you touch base, you're the one. Like, oh, I got here first.
Shotgun rules. Standard shotgun rules.
The New Yorker...
shotgun and he got it.
Yeah. The New Yorker did this super, like, in-depth, super long breakdown of everything that's happened in Britney's life from, like, before she was famous until June 23rd. And one thing that is very... interesting is that it's been reported and confirmed that there's this lady called Lynn something. I'm awful with names. She tried to get Courtney Love in a conservatorship. She tried to do it to Lindsay Lohan. She tried to do it to Amanda Bynes, and all three of them failed. And then she tried on Britney, and that fucking worked. She's like a fundamentalist Christian that she's here to save you. And then it worked with Britney, caught her in the right time.
It's a numbers game, baby.
And her dad was put as the guy, and here we are 13 years later. So she's set to have another hearing on the 16th, and they have closed it off to the public because last time we got to hear everything, and obviously we don't want that. But there's another rumor going around that like Katy Perry, Mariah Carey, Christina Aguilera, and somebody else, they're all
Moulin Rouge. Everybody from Moulin Rouge.
They're all trying to band together to start like a fund.
Foxy Brown.
You're making my brain short circuit. I'm just
so anyway, my point is that it's picking up steam and there's a lot of movement. Her manager of 25 years resigned. The guy the court appointed lawyer that was assigned to.
What are they trying to do? Hold on, I got distracted by Moulin Rouge.
They're trying to get funds to help her pay, or I'm not really sure what the end game is here, but there's rumors that they're collaborating to help push the Free Britney movement along.
They should start a show to raise money and have it be Moulin Rouge, and then have them all star in it, and then they could just do like a literal interpretation where the money goes to save a woman in trouble, like in Moulin Rouge. They should do it, and
but there's already a Moulin Rouge show. On Broadway. There's already a Moulin Rouge
starring Katy Perry and all those other people you mentioned.
Okay, so that's it for my reporting.
Are there any men involved in this, like trying to help?
Thus far, no, but I think it would be a great idea to get some men involved in this situation. Justin Timberlake should stay home for a little bit.
Yeah, he should.
You killed my.
He tried speaking up, and everyone was like, "Shh."
Justin Timberlake, hear me out. We get Justin Timberlake, and you're like, get out.
No. I'm for it, actually. I think he should be involved in it. It's just he's getting so much shit for stuff that he did when he was in his 20s that it's not going to land very well on the general public right now, because Twitter hates him. I'm against it. Well, I think like
this is my favorite. You're only sorry because you got caught. Like,
right. But I think it's like,
when am I supposed to be sorry?
No, but not only that,
I didn't know it was wrong until I got caught doing something wrong. I have since learned that it is wrong, and now I'm going to make it better.
Yeah, that's the way it should be.
That's a good apology.
Yeah, like, that's the thing. But that people are like, he's only sorry because people are like, yeah, but he's only sorry. He's only
trying to be better because we called him on his shit, right? So it worked.
Yeah,
nailed it.
Like, we won.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
But
Stop
I think
arguing once you win. Like, you won. Like, let's say okay, next.
I would love
like the
popular
banks, like the banks. They only fucking loan me money when I ask them for it. Yeah. No, that's the way it works. You ask for the loan, and they give you the loan. You think their bank is supposed to randomly call you and be like, "Hey, do you need money? You want to loan you some money?" You know what?
Yeah,
I was
don't
waiting
trust
for
them
you to
when they
ask.
do that.
Hey,
You know
Neri,
what? I was waiting for you to ask.
yeah. Hey, Neri, Mike from Chase Bank here. I haven't heard from you in a while. Are you good? You need anything? Should I drop
You
some
know
off
what?
on
I
the
was
way
getting,
home? Or
you know what? I was getting a little frustrated that it took you this long to call, but I'm glad that you actually called. I was gonna,
the
yeah.
most passive aggressive
Yeah.
loan request in the world. It's
Which
like,
I find that whole thing, the hate against Justin, really stupid right now.
You
Because
think?
1,000%. I think it's stupid. Because okay, sure, he's done shady things, questionable things. Who the fuck hasn't?
I
And
still
quite
can't
frankly,
fathom-
I think in general, people are frustrated because he's coming at this like wanting to save her, protect her thing, but he kind of was very involved in the downfall.
Yeah, again, but that's the mistake that he made, and it wasn't involved like, hey, he wasn't like hatching a plan.
He
Like,
didn't drop
fucking-
a sex tape. Like
He
he
was- no,
made
but he wasn't-
a revenge song. Like
and he wasn't like getting his mustache, twirling his mustache, being like, "How can I ruin this woman?" It was.
Do you think some of it could be deflection? Because like we all bought it. Everyone, a lot of
Wait,
people,
bought what?
like a lot of people ate that shit up. Like everything
it
he
was
sold
fine
back
at the
then.
time. It was
Huh?
fine. It was fine back then.
Yeah, because we didn't know better. But we thought that
Right.
was like.
But that's what I'm saying. So like
And-
our
and let's
generation
not
expects
pretend
to be
like that song
forgiven.
doesn't slap. Still, let's not pretend because that song is still amazing. I don't.
But
give a-
here's where I disagree with you, Steph, about our generation being responsible for it. And I'll say it this much is because the cultural norm at the time was that it was okay, it was expected, it was like part of being a celebrity that paparazzis stalked you to the brink of insanity. So they did this to her because they did this to her in 2007, 2008 because she was high profile and all of her pictures were selling high. Why? Because she was going through postpartum and a divorce while breastfeeding one of her kids and a public figure. So they exploited this supposed breakdown, which I just think it was postpartum, but she was Britney Spears. And that shit spiraled. I don't think that it kicked off. It was kicked off because Justin Timberlake
Okay.
wrote a fucking song
Well,
about her
here's-
5
here's
years
the-
before
No, I
that.
think some
I
people
would
started
say.
kind of going, wait, hold on. I think some people started going against her around that time in the sense of like back then people loved to pick sides for everything. Love to be like NSYNC versus
Back then.
Backstreet Boys, Britney versus Justin, versus. Like we just because it was the norm for us doesn't excuse us from
Wait,
going
who's
with
us?
it.
Okay, all right. I'm sorry. We keep
Because we're just talking about our generation. I'm talking about like our
What
generation. I'm doing the-
generation? I'm 40. You're not. You're like we're like the generational
your-
labels.
No,
hold
but
on.
we're
hold on.
kind of-
I haven't
I
said
think you're
anything. Like,
millennial,
wait a
right?
minute. The
But I'm
organ-
piggybacking off of what you're saying right now.
The
Mike.
You're listening to 21 minutes. I'm not done with my point.
here's where you keep if you keep saying us and we, just be more clear about that for a second, because those terms
you
are
and
the
me.
reason why.
I'm being clear that when I'm saying us and we, I'm talking
Right.
about just the zeitgeist, just the general kind of public opinion that was being portrayed in popular media at the time,
Like norm.
and just what the cultural norm was then. But I'm speaking to it. I'm speaking
Okay.
to the fact that back then, just because generally it was acceptable to say these things, doesn't mean that we're also not at fault for taking part in it. Because
Well, I
plenty of
didn't
people have made
participate.
and that's great. And like you didn't participate. When I say us, I don't mean us four. I mean us as in the general zeitgeist. Like I
It's
don't
a general statement.
it is like the royal we.
Right now,
That's opposite. Opposite
Okay.
of the royal we. Sorry.
now, but
Opposite of the royal we.
what I was going
general
to
we.
say. Hold on, there's a line forming here, Neri. You can go.
I'm just raising my hand. I'm
you're-
not. I'm not even doing the. I'm just raising my hand. All right.
What my point is, so like, why does that matter so much, right? Why does the label of us, we, whatever? I didn't do
Blame.
it. But what I'm saying is that
Blame.
exactly, blame. I didn't do any of that shit. I don't produce magazines. I'm
Okay,
a
but
consumer
that's what I'm
of
saying.
product, and all of those terms that are used, like generationally, the millennials, all this stuff, are marketing tools, right? They're just marketing labels. The reality is that there was a industry practice of being okay to be as legally invasive of people's lives as possible until physical violence happened. Like Sean Penn was notorious for beating up photographers. People would I didn't do that. You didn't do that. Nobody is guilty of that. except for the people who, like, if you want to be very specific, the people who buy the magazines, the people who click on the things and all that stuff, they're giving us what we want. But the people who are creating this loop of invasive behavior,
But the thing is,
there was a market.
isn't a generation.
Our demographic
Hold on.
was the one.
Get in line. Get in line.
Get in line.
I was the one who started the line, and everyone else butted in the line.
Now you got to go to the back of the line. Now you started the line. You started.
Everyone else started interrupting. I'm trying to make a general point, and then like also we want to get into semantics of we.
There's no interrupting. There was a statement made by you. We asked a question.
I wasn't done with the statement.
But I
wasn't done with the statement. I would like to finish the initial statement.
Finish your initial statement.
When we, as the general public, acknowledge and we're okay with certain things being played, and I mean okay as in it was part of the late night jokes, it was part of South Park had a whole thing about it, it was part of the cultural norm to poke at this breakdown, to put a magnifying glass to this breakdown, to make this breakdown something bigger than the personal thing it should have been and treated, then we should acknowledge that was wrong while still acting better now. Just because back then it was wrong doesn't mean we're still at fault. It means that back then we were wrong and we're trying to get better now. So the full sentence that I was going to say was, just we need to acknowledge what was wrong to make it right. So just because we didn't personally take part in it doesn't mean that we personally can't take part in the good stuff to try to right what was the norm then.
You're talking about like us as well. Are you talking about like us as individuals viewing our own behavior? Because it's not like it was.
We're like unlearning the shit that we used to be just around all the time.
I just want to say to a point of that is to say, what to piggyback off of what Michael was saying, like the people that put out news, that put out the media, that put out newspapers and magazines. Those people are technically the reason why we
consumed it. And
those people are older than us. So if you want to start pointing fingers, it's not our generation as far as millennials, it's the generation before us who were in charge. It's Diane Sawyer, it's fucking Barbara Walters, who were interviewing this young girl and fucking asking her if she's a virgin on fucking television.
Dave Letterman.
It's Dave Letterman. And these people are fucking much older than us. We're 40 and these people are in their 60s. So they were in their 40s when this fucking happened. So that's those, to piggyback off what Michael was saying, is like, those are the people, like, we didn't do anything. It's not we.
Sure. Those are the people in power.
The people in power. It's like if your kid is eating the wrong foods, it's not, oh my God, this kid's eating the wrong food. It's like you're feeding your kid the wrong food.
Right.
You blame the fucking parent that's feeding them the wrong food. Right. I'm including myself in this because I'm one of those like, oh, you get fucking chicken nuggets for your kid. I'm one of those parents. So but I'm giving the example, like they're feeding us, they meaning the people in charge, the media, the fucking the quote unquote professional journalists such as Diane Sawyer and fucking what's Barbara Walters. These are seasoned, like these are our country's best journalists, like top ranked journalists.
There's an entire
that, and when they are feeding us, the public, these kind of interviews, they're letting us know these are okay to eat. This is okay to have. So if you want to put blame, it's not us that we did anything wrong. We consume what we were given, right?
And to a certain extent, there is a moment where you do have the power to not be into something and not support it or whatever. But the point I was trying to make is that the system that's in place that enabled this is generations old. It's not like this is new. Like that's what I'm saying. It's not about like
old Hollywood was built on it.
they
Right.
literally would give people Xanaxes and fucking Valiums and shit to sleep, and they give them cocaine in the morning to be in front of the camera. Like
Correct.
they were literally the studio system. It's like it's vile. Like it's
That's
awful.
what happened with
It's
the chick
awful.
from Wizard of Oz. What's her name?
Yeah,
Judy Garland.
Judy
Judy
Garland.
Garland.
That
Like,
was criminal what they did to her.
None of this is new. It's just that there's more cameras available now, and now it's like the legal shit that's going on is also not new and has been used to manipulate hundreds of who knows how many people, especially women in vulnerable positions, because that's how, like, when they used to send women off to insane asylums because they were like, oh, I want to get a divorce. You're crazy. And then they would send them off. Meanwhile, the guy's got a new wife later or whatever. Like, it was just horribly, the patriarchal power structure was horribly imbalanced, which is like the most obvious statement in the world. But this is a product that Hollywood and all of the celebrity culture and all of that, like, gossip media. I'm trying to think of the tabloid media.
Like Perez Hilton and TMZ. Now they're also getting shit. But before I get to that, I just wanted to kind of like comment, like a hybrid comment of everything that everybody is saying, because I think there's two sides of this issue. And for one is that there was a narrative that worked, that was what was on TV, that was just like the thing that people did. That's no longer acceptable. We've evolved, and because to a certain to your point, Steph, we've evolved as a consumer market where we've kind of collectively decided that we don't want that anymore, that it's not cool, that it's hurtful, that it's destructive, whatever. So there's kind of been like I guess an agreement along the way where there has been a shift where there were boundaries. And a few years after Britney was placed under this conservatorship, there was like a bunch of A-list celebrities that banded together to pass laws in California banning paparazzi from taking pictures of their kids. That was normal before that. You know what I mean? So there's been a shift in the way that we accept information, but the people who control the narrative have had to meet us there. Otherwise, it would have never been there. So there was a market for that kind of fuckery, because they controlled the narrative, sure, but we ate it up. And I think that now it's this is part of this is why I think this story is so relevant, like across so many different topics, because it's bringing about a bigger conversation of like, that was really fucked up what we did back then, and how do we do better so we don't do it again. And to all of that, that's why I think that it's fucked up that Justin Timberlake is getting so much shit, because how dare he be in his 20s and write a song because he's pissed at his ex-girlfriend. And you're right, the song is a banger, leave the song alone. But going on an interview with Diane Sawyer and just being like, yeah, I smashed her, pretty much, that was fucking dirty. But I'm sorry, like at 20 years ago, that was fine. That's something, like, I think that's still fine. You don't hear about it on the news. Everybody just texts it to each other, you know?
I think the word fine is tricky there, because it wasn't fine. It was not good that he did that. It was
That's
not
what
a
I'm saying. Like,
positive
what I'm
thing that he
saying
did
was acknowledge that it was still fucked.
Yeah.
It wasn't fine.
It was more accepted.
We didn't.
It doesn't mean it's
That's what I mean by
acceptable,
fine.
you know?
Yes, that's what I mean by
He's being
fine.
held accountable now for the things he should have been held accountable for.
I think what Missy says is fine, and she was saying that it's understandable that a 20-year-old
it was allowed at that time. Yeah.
It's understandable that somebody
under those rules, under the rules of 2001, 2002, that was fine that he went on there and talked about smashing Britney. It's not okay.
Yeah. And then 9/11 changed everything.
We got a couple comments. Yolanda says, "Hey, what do you mean much older?" I mean almost twice my age, Yolanda. That's much older than me.
Almost twice.
Yeah, and I'm 40.
Rounding up hard.
How old is Diane Sawyer?
Oh no, she's got to be.
Yeah, that's almost twice my age. Like, that's much older. Like, if a 10-year-old says you're much older than me, I would agree to that.
Yeah,
I would say yes.
That's
I am much older.
Much accurate. Yeah.
So Jamia is on Mike. Mike says Jamia says Mike. He's commenting. And he says Mike is on point.
I agree. Yes, I am. Thank you.
Yep, Mike. That's true as fuck. Here's where I disagree with Jamia. He says that's part of being a public figure, though. And he said if you are famous, you live under a microscope, and if you want to be celebrated, you also have to accept the scrutiny.
I don't think
no, and I disagree, because there is the phrase I owe you as an artist. I owe you my art. I don't owe you anything else. I don't owe you anything. I am an artist. I'm a comedian. I owe you the best comedy show that I could provide for you when you go to a comedy show. If I make a movie, I owe you the best movie that I can make in that movie.
For 12
I don't owe you pictures of my kid. I don't owe you
your medical history or what you're going
through. I don't owe you my medical history. I don't owe you for you to see me at Starbucks followed by the paparazzi. I don't owe you that.
Yeah.
It's not the same thing. You're saying, oh, just because if you want to be celebrated, then you have to accept it. No, I don't have to accept that. That's incorrect and false.
Are we just going to raise
part of the old narrative?
But that's the
like
narrative that we're talking about, that we're trying to change.
100%. Okay, so this is actually a big thing that's going on right now in social media, because now with Twitter and all that stuff, we've had access to celebrities have had a more direct connection to their fans.
Correct.
Like think about when you used to watch Johnny Carson. It was like mythological figures on TV talking as themselves. It was so weird. Now everybody just kind of lives in the public eye on social media, celebrities as well, which leads to a thing called I was just watching a video on this stuff, a very specific reference, a podcast called The Adventure Zone. The McElroy family is like, you know what I'm talking about? It's called a parasocial relationship, a parasocial interaction, where it's because so many people are living their lives on social media. To the person posting something, you are one of a million likes. But then you feel like you're bonding and forming a friendship with this figure, but it's an entirely one-sided friendship. There's no relationship, there's no reciprocation, right? So there's a bunch of people. That's why you see people, hey bestie. That's so crazy to me when people write that shit on. So like, think about the people who comment on just an average Instagram hot girl page.
I thought that was tongue in cheek.
Huh?
I thought like the whole saying bestie to each other online was tongue in cheek.
Yeah, they're trying to split them cheeks. The point but I'm getting at is like the sheer audacity that out of 10 million likes, Justin Timberlake is going to be like to, fucking, lady kisses 8689, whatever the fuck thing. It's like, yeah, you're right. What's your name? We're going to be friends now. This like it's a one-sided vulnerability where so then the friend builds this relationship with the people and feels some sort of like expectation that's based in nothing. And it's a very common thing that's popping up now because of the feelings of like if there's a betrayal in some sort of like inclusivity, right? So like if someone makes, especially with this specific case of the McElroy family, they've built up this following that includes a lot of LGBTQ plus. There's a lot of trans people, a lot of people of color, and then there's a sense of betrayal when it's not fully embraced or represented. Meanwhile, the guys are just a white family from West Virginia, but because of the product that they were producing, the art that they were producing, they got this big following. And then there's this constant vehement like conversation that's happening online that are people defending criticisms of this other person, like you were defending your mom. You know what I mean? Like you were like, hey, you don't fucking talk about my brother like that, shit like that. When the real artists, the celebrities, have no clue or have zero involvement in any way. Yeah. And then that builds this kind of like army fandom toxicity that is what's representative now in terms of the social media aspect of this. So if there's an entire fan base of Britney's that view her as like, I need to protect my friend, it's going to be a much more vitriolic response about like fuck Justin Timberlake and fuck these people, and it's this. And if you try to approach it with a sense of like, hey, that you don't need to come to bat for anybody. They're not going to miss you if you don't tweet mean shit at people. You know what I mean? Like they're not even going to see it. So don't just add negativity to the discourse. Just, like you don't have to do that. You're not genuinely their friend. You're just
Well, I agree with you in the sense of the negativity bit. Yeah. Like going to bat for them. More people should have gone to bat.
Criticism or malice. Vitriolic.
Since we're taking a break, Diane Sawyer's 75.
There.
Yeah.
Oh, there you
go. I like the fact that Yolanda's like, you said 60. That's still half of my.
We meant 60s at the time.
Older than me. That's still 20 years older than me. That's
we're
still
talking,
much older. Like
50%.
In what world is that not much older than me? Like it's not.
In a world.
Yolanda, if I had sex with a 60-year-old, you'd be like, wow, that woman was much older than you. That's not an insult. It's just matter of factly, like that lady was much older
That's a
than you.
weird. That's a
Right?
weird place
Like
for
if
you
I
to
said,
go.
hey
What a
guys,
galvanizing
Like, he's not
instantly.
wrong.
You know exactly what he's talking about.
yeah, like it's not one of those things. Like I'm not saying 60 is like should be thrown away. I'm just saying it is much older than what I am now. It's
If
not
In terms
20
of just math.
if a 20-year-old had sex with Neri, her friends would be like, "Oh my god, he's so old."
yeah. If I
I'd
had
be
sex
she's
with a
much younger
20-year-old,
than
I
you.
would. If I had sex with a 20-year-old, I would be questioning her. I'd be like, what's going on in your life?
Hold on a second.
Let's unpack this.
Yeah.
Why are you like? I don't understand. I don't know.
But only
anything
after,
what
right?
you- Yeah, of course. No, I mean,
Yeah.
whatever. I would kind of ask that beforehand. I'd be like, "Are you sure? You sure you want to do this? Why? No. I mean, that's fine." Jamia says, "I never said you owe. I agree with that. What you want and what you get will always be different because of personal choices dictate your artist life." Right. Jamil, what you said before was that you have to accept the scrutiny, and you don't have to accept the scrutiny.
No,
That's not the thing. That's not what we're selling. We're not trying to. I want your attention. I want to be celebrated for my art. I don't want to be celebrated. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and this is weird. So piggybacking off what you said again, Mike. Will Smith. You know, Will Smith started his Instagram. Ellen started his Instagram, and he was on Ellen's show, and they literally like signed him up on air. Or at least they said they did. Who knows? They probably did it beforehand. But he said in talking to Ellen, he says, you know, when I was a kid and when I started in the industry, famous people were not attainable by the public. It was like, oh, they're supposed to be like us and them. It's supposed to be like I was never, you know what I mean? Like that's crazy to be able to meet these kind of people and whatever. Nowadays, it's not like that. Nowadays, the celebrities that get celebrated the most are the ones who are active on social media and stuff like that. And that's why he allowed, quote unquote, he allowed Ellen to make his Instagram, and it's only benefited him both financially and through his PR. It's only been upgraded because of his social media. I mean, the last movie that did $1 billion was Independence Day, Will Smith. And then after that, he had all these #1 hits, but to cross $1 billion, the movie that got there was Aladdin. And it was like the second movie that was released after he got his Instagram. And he literally thanked his Instagram followers. He was like, there's no way. I mean, these are numbers, right? Yeah. Like you make 20 movies and I haven't made a fucking $1 billion movie since Independence Day, and now all of a sudden I make an Instagram, and 2 years later I get another $1 billion movie. That's not.
Have you ever seen on Facebook when someone makes a comment? I see this. Will Watkins happened to him a lot on where he would make a statement about something, and then in the comments there would be two people fighting about what was said. And it starts this like hundreds of comments, huge thread about nothing that was said in the actual post. It's just this.
Mike and I have actually remember this when there would be these long threads of like people fighting within the local comedy scene. And then Mike and I would randomly comment and be like, "Hey, so the What's Up Bro podcast is available," because I would be getting 600-700 comments.
A million people would be like in these threads, and we'll be like, I agree and disagree with everybody here, and you can hear my opinions on What's Up Bro, and then include the link.
This guerrilla type marketing.
Exactly. We go back to grassroots marketing, guys.
Absolutely. But the point of it is that that's basically what all of the big companies are like. Look at how many giant corporations are planting viral media on TikTok or Reddit or whatever. How many I'm on Reddit like a fair bit, like on my own little, Miami Dolphins, et cetera, Star Wars things. And then there was like a little chunk of Vin Diesel memes about family.
Jesus Christ. And I've gotten 1,000 of those fucking
many of them
in the last week.
Tell me, they are 100% cranked out by marketing companies because the Fast and Furious movies coming out. Literally, everyone who's like, these are dumb memes, but they just keep showing up. They keep getting shared. People will marketing companies will hire and buy Reddit accounts with a lot of upvotes so they can post everywhere. They'll have NDAs with Twitter people on Twitter who are active in a certain community, like super niche, super specific market.
Did you watch The Boys season 2?
Yeah.
Was the superhero, the villain chick, she was like, I have 3 guys making memes in my, like, that's how I get.
Yeah.
That's how I fucking crank out all these likes,
think about Mad Men. All those Mad Men guys, the super suave Don Draper motherfuckers, are guys making memes on their computer now. Like, that's what it is. Like, it's true.
That's
like,
so true.
It's sad to think that, like, the ultimate marketing campaign is this Pepe the racist frog that's gonna get Trump elected. You know, like that is 100%, and it's based on algorithms and data collection and all that stuff. It's like the only way to win is not to play, because there are some blissfully happy people right now who have no idea what the fuck is going on with Britney, or they'll hear about it and be like, oh, that sucks. Why are they? Stop that. And then they'll walk away from it and not have to look at it at all.
That was Mike 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, now I got to know about all this shit about Britney. Let me live in my little bubble of Baby Yoda memes. And
yeah, but let's talk about. But you know about Elon Musk and you hate him.
The amazing Elon Musk.
Well, he's a giant. He's a billionaire. All billionaires are made of pure evil and are
look at that
money off the backs of all of the.
This is my bubble.
He's also a genius, but whatever.
He is absolutely not. He is a marketing. He knows how to deal with Bill
He's
Gates.
a genius.
My job here is done.
Degrees. He's got degrees. He's a genius. Sorry.
Is it okay? So let's define it. So I have a question. So is a genius just someone who has found a way to succeed at all costs?
Yeah, I mean, that's a genius.
But that doesn't imply it's.
I mean, that's not the only form of genius, but that is a genius.
I think he is a genius in terms of IQ. I read somewhere.
Yeah,
IQ is a fake number too, by the way.
Okay, I mean, so then the word genius, the word genius means nothing to you.
No,
because you're not adding any. You're not adding.
Wait,
there are
kids.
There are now multiple. There are now multiple value systems. There are now multiple value systems that you are shooting down, and you just
no. I'm not saying that genius doesn't mean anything. I'm saying the person who's using it says more about you than it does about the person who you're talking about. For you to label something as genius is more about how you use it than about the person you're using it on. Like Elon Musk is just a guy who took advantage of loopholes and buying out companies and putting his name on shit that he didn't actually invent.
But that's a genius.
At what? Though?
At succeeding, because if everybody would do that, if he wasn't a genius, then everybody would do it. And the fact that everybody hasn't done it, then that means that he's standing out above the crowd. Right? Genius by definition. Well, I could actually look it up.
I mean, now you're gonna have to look.
But genius,
vitriolic, which I use correctly.
For the most part,
what did I just walk into?
Yeah, well,
I started some shit.
Genius by definition is you're above average. You're above the rest. You're like, right? That's
about intelligence.
Intelligence. And if you're saying all Elon Musk has done is attached his name and invested in these companies that he didn't invent himself, which, by the way, not completely accurate, because there are companies that he started by himself, that he started himself as well. But besides the point, let's go with that. So he puts his name and he attaches and he invests money into these companies that succeed. Mm-hmm. If that wasn't genius, then everybody would do it, but they don't, because most people invest in companies. Most people don't invest.
I don't know if he's just genius or just rich.
Most people don't invest.
He was able to buy his place in all those things.
Most people don't invest, and second of all, there's a million. Look at, and this is an awful. This is an example that I want to give. That I want to separate the humanity or the lack thereof from the business aspect. Look at Trump. He's rich and he's invested in many companies that have failed. Many companies that have failed. Mm-hmm. So I would not put him and say, well, look, just because you're rich, you're gonna have the power to invest in companies that succeed. No, because Trump is proof of that. Because he's invested in so many companies that they've all failed miserably. So
I don't know. I just don't think I would equate success and genius.
So therefore, it's not just if you're rich, then you're gonna come.
But yeah, that's successful.
You're investing in companies that are successful. Like that's not accurate. That's not true.
Whether someone is savvy and successful, I don't know. I feel like I'm a little more strict with saying someone's a genius. Like
That's
to me,
the-
genius.
We call
like-
people that work at Apple geniuses. Let's not fucking pretend like now we're high and mighty and like, oh no,
Who's
I-
we?
I
Who's
protect-
we in
I
this scenario,
protect
Derek?
the
I
fucking
know
word- I
personally.
protect the word genius.
Define we.
I
Define
protect the
we.
word genius, and I can't like I don't know. I'm a little defensive
Steph,
of the word genius.
This
Like,
is what
really,
happened. Mike
What
was
I-
talking about how
the store.
he existed outside of the free Britney bubble, and I was like, exactly, like how I didn't
We-
know about Elon Musk, and then now we're here. That's-
used
But you
by
don't
a
wanna- I don't
speaker
wanna know more
refer
about
to himself or herself and one or more people considered together.
Mike didn't want to know about Britney, and now he knows too much.
It's not that I didn't want to know. It's just like what you get to choose what filters into your brain because it honestly does impact your psyche.
I
You know, like,
agree.
Sure,
like
sure.
honestly,
It's actually making me very uncomfortable. That TikTok now, I don't know if you guys have noticed that the For You page, Hilda, I love her.
Hilda writes, settle into a popcorn. Hi guys.
yeah,
She's
yeah.
great. TikTok now has a lot of ads in your For You page to sell you shit. And I'm like, give me the stupid videos. I'm not here to don't make me shop.
Like actual
but
ads or
yeah, like
creators
ads.
making ads?
No, ads like for
So,
a
How
hair
would
color.
you know? How would you know if there was?
Oh, it says it. No,
Oh,
it says it.
It says it.
It
Click
says
here
it,
to
and then it
fucking buy
pops
the
up
mop.
and goes shop
Click
here.
right, but
Yeah,
there's
shop
also
here
a
to
lot
buy the
of
mop. You're like,
right,
what?
but what I'm talking about are the people who
The sponsored thing.
on their that it's not overtly sponsored ads that people what I'm saying is that there's a ton of those TikTok videos where someone is like, here's the thing that I use for whatever that are not sponsored that they just like it's but they get money for that.
I just started getting on TikTok,
just
not
like
kidding,
you.
but I just started trying to apply myself to TikTok a couple days ago.
Mhm.
And is there not like a thing when you're swiping up? Is there not like a thing where you go, I don't like this, please don't
Yeah.
show me
Yeah.
more of this?
Yeah.
Because
You can just
because
upsend
I keep getting fucking makeup shit, and I'm like, fellas, I don't
it means you interacted with something and liked something or
Yeah,
sent
that's
it.
what
Like
I'm
if you
saying. I'm
send
like-
things to people a lot, it'll
no, I'm just like,
No, he sends really nice things.
yeah, but I'm like, guys, I get it. I've liked cooking things that are like, oh, make this meal. This is a
Because
meal.
you're
prep
teaching
thing.
it to
This
show
is
you
not
what
the
you
same
want.
as- This is not the same as makeup. Let's your algorithm is flawed if you think
usually
that
not.
because I like to watch people make biscuits and I like to now watch them fucking put foundation on their face. I think these things are not the same, and
One
we
Piece
have to talk about
is
this.
not
TikTok.
like the other.
You just gotta interact with the other stuff a little more.
Well,
it.
but you're also the algorithm has a brain of its own because I don't know how this happened, but at one point it was sending me to prison TikTok, and I was like, no, like this is not what I want. So I had to like do that thing of not interested or don't show me this again.
It's also you're also at the mercy of what other people are getting into.
Yeah.
So there is like an organic cycle, but also there's an organic like blooms of different things that get popular. Like all of a sudden, everybody is using the same sound, to make a video. Everyone's doing the same or like using the same meme. That's the definition of a meme. It's something that is on your mind, and like there's like it's spread through inorganic
Consumption.
Grassroots.
Right. The algorithm can also be paid for. Like you could buy ways to be on more pages and stuff like that. In all of those, because let's not forget, like this is the company that owns TikTok is this Chinese company that also owns a ton of those like farm the app
Mining.
farm and stuff like that, data mining and all that stuff.
Data
Like,
mining. Look, speaking of data mining, Jamil Leonard says that he does data mining as a side hustle.
Nice.
it's him.
Good
He's
for you, bud.
responsible.
Jamia, if you could get at me and teach
Do
me how
it
to
live.
do that, because I need all the side hustles I can get because my main hustle's on hold right now. So
Yeah.
if I can, Jamia says that Tesla was bankrupt before Mr. Musk got there.
Mhm.
Yolanda says that she's not a fan of Trump.
Right, good.
Look at her.
Nobody else here is. Jamia says you search algorithms. Your search algorithm has adjusted.
Or hasn't
Probably
adjusted.
Hasn't adjusted yet.
Just
So
start liking all of the same thing.
What
Like,
did Hilda say? Hilda, say something.
I was like, I literally have put that up.
we should just have a camera facing all of the audience members. Like
My-
get in there.
So cool, man.
Data mine their face cams.
If we could have like a little side window that is just literally like the peanut gallery, and it's just like whoever comes in.
I mean, it's possible technically.
I'm sure.
The point of all of that, like,
Is free
genius
Britney.
talk is well. It's also about like because what I said was that the people who label someone a genius, or the words that people use, tell you more about them than it does about the other people. Like look on like on TikTok, someone posting, or the algorithm kind of teaches you a little bit about yourself, where you're like, shit, I didn't realize I was this into whatever, D&D
therapy.
Yeah, therapy. like what there was like a running there was someone's tweeted out is like, it's like my friend just got on TikTok and now she's like, why are they sending me all these lesbians? And then she's like, I got news for you.
That happened to one of my friends. He's like, everything is just like another twink like dancing for me. And I'm like, bro.
Dude, yeah.
You have to unpack
this. Is all, you know what this is? This is all a newer version of that joke that became hacked, that premise that became hacked years ago with TiVo. Remember, like, my TiVo thinks I'm gay.
Yes.
And it's like, this is all of now a newer version of that. It's like TikTok thinks I'm gay. It's like
TiVo is patient zero of the algorithm.
Yeah.
What if TiVo was the originator of like Skynet, where it's like all of a sudden you get the Earth gets taken over, but you just get that noise.
Do the camera thing.
Can you believe it's been?
No, I'm not gonna do it because it's real. I only do the camera thing as a joke.
Can you believe it's been 30 years since Terminator 2?
Yeah.
I watched it the other day. First of all, I love my newborn because she literally was just watching a movie with me. And like I had her carried on my arm, and technically her face was facing not the TV screen, but she would turn her head. And because it's the glow. I'm not under the impression.
That it's her favorite movie at 4 months old.
Yeah, I'm not at 3 months old. I'm not under the impression that my daughter's like, oh, she lights up every time Arnold Schwarzenegger shoots off a shotgun. Like, I'm not under that impression. But I just love the fact that she's just like watching this, like the whole. She just kept watching it, and it was fantastic. Yeah, but the movie holds up, completely holds up. That movie, Jesus Christ.
I've never even seen the first one. Is that bad? Okay.
T2 is the one that you have to see.
Yeah,
and you don't need to see the first one to kind of
I've never have, but I got it could be the T2 could be its own, like it is in my brain, a standalone.
At the beginning, they drop everything that happened in T1 and like so you
they
get
give you they give you
previously on
for the previously on. That's like that's all they don't. The only thing they don't give you is the previously on.
Hey, Steph.
Yeah.
Are you still on lockdown?
No, we're out of lockdown. I mean, we're still on restrictions. Like, we still actually have to wear masks now and stuff. But
which everyone should be wearing masks if you're out in public because of the Delta variant. Blah 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 blah. Be safe.
Yeah, that's basically what's happening right now. We're just trying to make sure we get rid of the Delta variant that like snuck in.
But didn't somebody say that the vaccine fights it off, or is that false?
It protects you from it, but even you can still spread
you
it.
Still get it.
The vaccine doesn't stop you from the virus. It doesn't you're not off gassing vaccine to kill it in the air. It's just if you get it, but you can still get it in you and spread it to somebody else.
Right. That's why I said you can fight it off. I know that how it works in terms of giving it to other people, but
the mask is for that. That's what the mask does, not for you. The mask protects you from giving it to other people, not the other way around.
Yeah. We went through the same pandemic.
No, but you're asking about the
you literally asked a question like, doesn't
I was just joking. Jesus,
does the vaccine protect us, Mike? We know.
It was a very straight face. I thought
there's a genuine fucking like. This is a whole other current thing on TikTok about like medical professionals being done with everybody's shit, where there's no joking anymore because we can't take you seriously. We don't know if you're a fucking anti-vaxxer, because even like medical professionals are like, oh, making fun of vaccines. It's like, you should be fired. You like, what the fuck?
Right.
Like, you're posting anti-science things on a device that is made of pure science. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you people?
It's not created of magic.
Yeah. We taught rocks how to think with lightning. You're not you're not gonna tell me that the vaccine does. I don't know what's in it. What's in your phone? You don't know what's in that. What's in your fucking contact lens solution? You put that shit in your eyeballs.
I don't.
Know what the fuck are you talking about?
Fuck that. I have a thing. I will never wear contacts.
You're fucking up my point, Missy. What I'm saying is that, do you know what's in a Pop-Tart? Do you know what's in the fucking croquetas you eat? No.
Do you know what's in a chicken nugget? A McDonald's chicken nugget? God.
Yes.
No one does.
Knows. Nobody.
Yeah,
Yeah,
nobody knows.
if you see
It's called
Super Size
pink
Me, you see
slime.
it.
Yes, it's gross, but it's also like the
I don't think
muscle
that's really it.
the muscles in the animal that you eat are also made up of organic chemistry. Like it's all science, all the way down. You can't just suddenly believe that the mask, does who knows what it is, or the
Did you see?
vaccines.
Was it was
you
who was
magnetic
it?
or whatever fucking dumb shit.
Was it a senator who said if masks save us from virus, and how come they weren't telling us to wear masks to protect us from AIDS? There was a senator that tweeted that.
Yeah.
What?
That tweeted that. Yeah, and they were
Are
like,
you randomly gonna get fucked in the mouth by an AIDS guy? Like, what do you do? That's not how it works. Science discovered that that's not how it spreads. Listen to the science. Come on. I was getting so mad. So mad.
He's so mad.
I
All
can't
right.
stand it. I've seen so much.
My mind is too
nonsense.
visual.
Go on.
what happened? I was
Why are
sitting
they
here
not
eating
telling
my
us to
dinner,
wear
and randomly some AIDS guy came and fucked my mouth, and just like,
And
the
now
worst
I have
part was-
AIDS.
The worst part was I wasn't even wearing my mask.
He got in because I wasn't wearing my mask.
Am I the asshole for giving a random stranger?
I mean, that genuinely is like
No, it's a hot button.
Hasta aquí, like,
And you are like a patient-facing medical professional, so I understand your
like
anger.
joking about that at this point is like
Rude.
It's just.
Yeah.
I get it. There's certain jokes about like whatever, but the cynicism around it at this point is like, it activates all those emergency responses of like, okay, do I have to? Are you a dangerous person?
Look,
if masks work, Representative Chaplick asks, why didn't we wear them to stop AIDS? Should we tell him?
Listen, Chaplick.
Like, what do you
Go talk to Giuliani?
We should start calling condoms dick masks, so that they know that like that's the
I
same
call masks.
concept.
I call masks face condoms sometimes, so I think it's in alignment.
Not wrong. I mean, that's what it is.
It's an
like
apt analogy.
Yeah, condoms are also about keeping.
That would explain why I don't like wearing them. That makes sense now.
Man,
Mike just said you don't joke about it. Mike just said
I was really looking forward to
I
like
was making a
that's
joke about
I don't like
condoms.
wearing masks, man. It fucking sucks. I hate
I
it.
was making a joke about condoms, madam. That's okay.
I was
ma'am.
I was really looking forward to like
don't mad at me.
taking a fun adventurous weekend trip to New York in the next couple months, but now with this fucking Delta variant, now I'm scared again to travel.
And also,
Like,
guys are just gonna jump and try to fuck you in the mouth for no reason. Like it's crazy up here. New York is wild.
Right.
I believe that for New York.
I mean,
Yeah.
I hope that didn't happen last time. So
I mean, no,
Yolanda said that wine out of my nose.
yay.
Hilda said that
Success.
she just spit up her wine.
That's a double whiner right there.
Neri, can we get a
Now, did you spit up your wine because of the fucking mouth fucking in the AIDS
100%.
or the condoms? I don't like wearing face masks because of the condoms. That was a funny one too.
I think we know.
I think it was.
Tell Neri he's pretty.
I
Tell
like
Neri he's pretty.
I'm just saying, I said something funny too. It could have been that. You don't know.
Oh,
That's Neri's Star-Lord to my Thor at the end of Endgame.
The
Where it's like,
visual.
the visual, Mike. The visual.
Have you guys watched Loki?
yes,
No.
Yes.
bro.
I can walk away.
Okay.
So good.
The episode that came out today. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but fuck.
I can walk away.
No, I'm not gonna spoil it. I'm not. I don't
It
like
came out
doing.
today. It's
We can talk
literally
about it.
today,
We can
yeah.
talk about
but
it
it's
in
not
the
even-
after
But it's not
recording.
even that. Even if it didn't come out today, like even if we were talking about last week's episode, I don't like getting into specifics. I just like saying, bro, I like it.
Yeah.
Man, it was so much fun, or the blah blah.
Mhm.
Even when I give movie reviews, my movie reviews, even when I'm doing a spoiler thing, I'm not really getting into specific storyline details. I just go, bro, that was fucking great.
Oh, no,
should be
after,
some kind
after
of-
the last episode, I immediately dived into like Easter egg things. I immediately went to YouTube. I'm like, tell me all the Easter eggs. I know the shit I missed.
There should be like a social agreement on the boundaries of spoilers and not spoilers, because some people disagree on what's a spoiler and what isn't, and then you end up fucking it up for other people. Am I wrong? Is that too much?
Generally, people can never agree on what that boundary is. But I think what Neri did was fair. Like I think like saying it's really good, really like.
Oh no, I trust him.
That,
I'm just saying like afuera, like outside.
The worst is when someone tries. The worst is when someone says, "I'm not going to spoil it for you, but there's a huge plot twist at the end."
Yeah,
it's like, yo, that in and of itself is a spoiler because I'm going to be watching the movie waiting for the thing to twist
and trying to see if we could put it together.
Hit me right, of course. So like it's the concept of a spoiler. It's different for different people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's right. I Loki to me is great. Like it's up there with one of my favorite things in the MCU because it's doing such a good job of creating.
I mean, I'm telling you. The only show that's been mad to me is fucking Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Where I'm like,
it was good.
I think it should have been released first because WandaVision is leaps and bounds better than Falcon and Winter Soldier, and Loki is also leaps and bounds better than Falcon and Winter Soldier. And I really think they did a disservice to themselves by releasing Falcon Winter Soldier after such an amazing show like WandaVision, because you go, this is an action movie.
But I've actually met a few people that prefer it.
No, well, I mean, there are people that love, or there are the people that will just watch whatever Sebastian Stan is in and just slide out of their chairs because I guess so, But the idea
I don't see it.
I don't see it either.
He's
an attractive guy.
He is, but like everyone's like and I'm like,
people freak out over that guy.
Well,
but that's the thing about we were talking about the parasocial relationships where people are like, "That's my boyfriend, that's my husband."
Okay, but do I find him attractive? Yeah, but he's a handsome dude.
Anthony Mackie's. I don't know. I prefer.
You like the Anthony?
We should do a mountain of.
He's got the thighs though.
I don't.
He's got smile, man. He's got the smile. He's got like, and he's funny. I think
none of those guys are Chris Evans, so I don't see what
Chris Evans with a beard is the only Chris Evans that I will accept.
You said Hemsworth? You said
Hemsworth.
You said Hemsworth?
Hemsworth, Chris Evans, Chris Pine.
Bro.
Every Chris is fucking better. I think every Chris is better than Sebastian. Every Chris is better than Sebastian Stein.
But even then, there's people that love that guy. And there's also the whole thing about Falcon and Winter Soldier that they had to change. There's rumor. There was denial of it, but some stuff has leaked that there was a whole one of the things the Flag Smashers were going to be, there was going to be a virus outbreak epidemic like story element throughout the whole show, but then COVID happened and it's like, ooh, too real.
Control Alt Delete.
Yeah, like we gotta fix this.
I always find that weird that people do that. I always find it weird that entertainment does that. I saw this thing recently. The dude from Scream, Lillard, whatever the fuck his name is. He was at a con and they asked him because Scream 3 was apparently atrocious. I don't like any of the Scream movies, but they say that Scream 3 is really bad, and they said that they asked him, there's a rumor that you were supposed to be in Scream 3, that you're supposed to come back. Can you speak to that? Is there a thing? And he said, yeah, that was true. I was signed on to do it, and a month before, like the story plot of Scream 3 was that there was these guys, my character included, who were teaching other high school students to kill, to become the killer, to become the
Ghostface guy,
the Ghostface guy, and it was going to be like a school full of killers. And a month before they started producing the movie, they started filming, Columbine happened. So then they immediately scrapped that and were like, we can't do that shit. And they changed. And then he's like, what you guys saw, the reason why you guys don't like that movie is because it was written and produced within a month. Like it had to be like just from the ground floor. And so that's what he talked about. And in my mind, I'm like, I understand where they're coming from as far as like, oh, this is a sensitive subject matter. But it's always weird where they're like, no, but this was been in the production for like, this has been in production.
I mean, if you have that kind of cash.
It was like when 9/11 happened and they had to change Spider-Man. They had to change the entire ending of Spider-Man. If they would have like,
what was the ending originally supposed to be? Was it supposed to be
going to be on the Twin Towers?
What'd you say? Different because you actually, I said was it supposed to be good? That was the problem. That's understandable because you're changing something physical. Like but that's not a storyline. It's not like you could have him swinging from any building.
I could understand the reluctance a little bit though from Marvel because like did anyone watch that show that came out on, I think it was Amazon Prime, was called Utopia?
No.
There you go. It
the
was
the one
it
with
was
the creator of the one with like his consciousness, when people die, their consciousness goes into the computer, some shit.
no, Utopia is the one of it's a group of people who are like huge fans in this one particular comic that they say there's hidden messages in the comic that allude to like big apocalyptic style things that are going to happen that are supposed to predict the future. So it's like this whole thing that happens like in a con, and like there's someone who's coming after trying to kill them and trying to kill the mate. Like it's the girl in the comic's actually a real person. Like it's this weird convoluted kind of crazy show. But the thing is, the big thing that's supposed to happen in the comic that they're trying to stop is a pandemic. Problem is, this show came out when we were all still in quarantine.
Well,
and it's just
wasn't it originally a British show that came out like years before?
Actually, I don't know. I'm not quite sure.
Okay.
Don't know.
Hold on, I'm gonna look it up.
I don't know if it's the
but
same
the point being,
one.
yeah, but you're saying that it literally was referencing something that we were all dealing with and was killing 500, that ended up killing 600,000 Americans. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, so it wasn't like a fun escape. It wasn't a romp. It wasn't any of these things. It was some things were too on the nose. And I was like watching it, and there was some stuff in it that they would talk about all the things that pandemics could do to like people that it was supposed to be sent there to like phase out. And the thing is, the actual thing that was supposed to actually fuck people up wasn't the pandemic, it was the vaccine. So like the show didn't hit. The show did not hit.
Was it released?
Yeah, but there's a big MAGA crowd. There's a big MAGA crowd that love that show.
They would have been all over that shit.
This show is amazing. This show is right.
Are they blaming 5G? I'm gonna watch the shit out of this. Yeah.
Son of a bitch. I was right there. I was gonna be like, 5G. I don't sell the cell phone now. You know, my brain was on chips.
As they buy the new iPhone with 5G so they can watch their shows better.
Hilda says, oh yes, Steph, I saw that. I had forgotten about it. The first few episodes were shocking.
Yeah, it started strong and just it kind of petered out. And the main girl just
you know what's like
she was in Loki actually.
To talk about this kind of whole thing, Jack Reacher, the first Jack Reacher movie came out and had to do with mass shooting, right? And it came out like the weekend of a school mass shooting, and they still released it. They still like, it was one of those things where they're like, maybe it was like a month before. I don't remember the time frame exactly, but it was like something really big happened, and then a month later or soon after that, they released Jack Reacher. And I was actually like, oh, thanks for like releasing. I'm like, it's just, it would have been awkward to fucking be like, well, we already put $100 million into a film, but we can't release it. And it's always, you know. It lives in a vacuum type of deal. Anyway, let's get to Am I the Asshole? We got to get to Am I the Asshole?
Which one do you want to read? Do you want to read?
My wife tells me that the dog one is a short one.
It's short? Okay.
Yeah, so
Am I the asshole? My girlfriend won't let dogs sleep in our room. My girlfriend, 20, and I, 21, have been discussing moving in together in the same city. I have 2 dogs, so we were discussing expectations and roles we'd play in the house. The dogs will be my responsibility only, not hers. She likes the dogs and is sweet to them, but last night we had a disagreement about sleep arrangements. She said my dogs can't sleep in our room. She doesn't want them on the bed, and neither do I, but she says she won't even say yes to them on the floor. I've had each of them for 8+ years, and they've spent almost every night of their life sleeping in the same room as me. If I were to kick them out of the room, they would make a huge fuss and keep us up. She said it's non-negotiable, so I said I'll just sleep in the second room with them, but that upset her too, that I would sleep with them over her. Am I the asshole for standing my ground about this? The dogs are my family. One of them is 11, and on his last few years, I'd feel mean for making my old pups change what they've been doing. What they've been doing their entire life.
That's my friend.
Quills,
that's our friend.
Quills called it. Bye, Felicia. Dude, she's not the one.
No, she doesn't get it. If you guys don't agree on how to treat your pets,
First of all, if you're would already started wrong when it's like the dogs are my responsibility. No, honey, no. We're moving in together. We are now a unit. And the unit
Good
doesn't
point.
fucking go with this is my no. That's the equivalent of me saying you're the woman, so you do the dishes.
Those aren't my dishes, so I'm not
Those are
washing
my
them.
dishes. I'm not washing them. I didn't dirty that knife. You did. Like, no, we're a fucking
So-
unit. And
So
so
Strong
the
agree.
girl who's
Strong
writing
agree.
this, we're agreeing, is not the asshole.
the one
but
who's
is-
writing, the guy who's writing it. You
It's
mean?
two girls.
Oh, it's two girls. Oh, wow.
See, that goes
Take
on.
away
That's
your
on
perceptions.
you.
Take
for
away your
making
perceptions,
an
Larry.
assumption.
Ooh, mamma
Oh.
mia,
Oh.
papalote, canceled.
Never mind. This is a. They're living in sin. This is
Nary
a-
saying canceled. Hashtag canceled. You canceled.
Just red cancel.
Yeah. Put
should
up them
need a
red
stamp.
flags from last time, or only on yourself because you're canceled. You want quarantine. Yeah, that's you. No, so the girl who wants to live with her dog, because the dogs aren't even on the bed. That's an issue that sometimes I've had depending on how clean my partner has kept their dogs, stuff. But like, it's not even the bed; it's the room.
Yeah.
That you're
Yeah.
allowed to be like, no, they're just gonna stay in the room. What the fuck is wrong with you?
I think. No,
But
sorry.
is the other girl an asshole for wanting?
Yes.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
It's just not the
necessarily
right
think
match.
She's an asshole. Exactly. I
No.
don't necessarily think she's an asshole. I don't think they should be moving in together or.
I don't think they
being
should
with
be
each other.
fucking talking to each other. They should not be fucking. They should not be looking in the same fucking room. They should not be looking at each other. Like if I fucking walk into a room and you happen to be there, one of us has
Who's
to
moving in
fucking
with
go.
who?
One of us has to fucking go.
The girl's moving
I
with the
believe they're
girl.
moving in together. I don't know what
The
that
new
girl's
means.
moving
place.
in- The girl's moving in with the girl.
Yeah. Girl number one is moving
Poster
in with
versus non-poster.
they're 20 and 21.
Yeah.
That is a huge also half
She's had
of
this
our
dog since
age.
she was fucking 10. She's had this dog since she was
Ooh.
10. And you're gonna fucking tell this
Oh,
fucking person
true.
that I can't have my companion, my lifelong companion. Lady, this
Nah.
bitch has been here before you and will continue to be here after you. It's fucking your
Well, no.
fuck?
I mean, not really.
yes, because
Well, it depends
Not-
how
I
long
mean,
the relationship
I
lasts.
mean, yes, you're right. It will
it's
be there
over
after you.
today. Because it's fucking over today.
Okay,
I'm
good,
like,
fair, yeah.
No, I'm telling you, the beginning it started off wrong when she said
Mm.
the dogs are my responsibility. No, it's not. You're in a fucking unit. You're in a family unit now. This is what happens when two people are in a relationship, in a romantic relationship, especially, and you fucking live together. You are a fucking unit. There is no more my responsibility. Your responsibility. It is our responsibility. Now you're adding the fact that this responsibility is about lives, not just my tomato garden. It's my responsibility. No, these are
Hey,
fucking lives.
Hey, Mary, is there something going on at home? Everything okay?
No, I get very emotional when it comes to dogs, and I get very.
I know.
and
No,
I get-
I get
and
you.
I-
I've had to go to bat for Suki. So, I mean,
and-
obviously, I
and
can
to
take
be
Suki.
fair, I
with you.
got this emotional. I got this emotional when we talked about the whole idea of
Don't you-
the whole idea of guys
Oh,
being like, oh, I did the dishes, I should fucking get a parade. Like I got this emotional weeks ago when we
Oh,
talked
yeah,
about this
yeah.
whole thing. Like I really hate that logic of I did the right thing. We're living together. Celebrate me. It's like,
Yeah.
no, this is a fucking what? This is
Mhm.
this is so.
What were you gonna say, Steph?
Oh, I was saying, like, I've had to actually have that discussion with like partners before, because obviously I couldn't bring Suki with me to Australia, or else I'd have to have the whole conversation again. But I've had Suki for a few years throughout a few relationships, and she was my little constant, and I was there for her, and I would protect her, and like she was there for me during hard times. Like she was, like I would take care of her, and she would have this thing where she would sleep not on my pillow. Like I would have a secondary pillow above my head that she liked to curl up on that one because she was very tiny, and she would stay there. So I would have to like kind of go to bat for her and just be like, nah, like that's her spot. She's not gonna bother you. She's with me. If you have an issue with it,
Now I have to ask:
That's
was she a bad dog?
define bad dog.
little yappy. She was a little yappy.
But that's what I'm saying. Because I've
Yeah,
been
yeah.
okay. I've been
She's a small
with
dog.
some-
Small dogs.
not
are
in
yappy.
not in the bedroom. She wouldn't yap. Like when she was sleeping. If she was with me. If
right. Okay.
If she's in the front
That's a
door.
that's a good question. Okay, because like I've been with partners where like they have dogs and I love animals. I love dogs, but poorly behaved. They would Like there was a girl I was seeing that her dog had to wear a muzzle in the house if I was there. If it had bit so many people, and it's like, hey, I don't feel comfortable here because that your dog literally bit me and you defended the dog.
Thing, yeah.
Like exactly. So then the thing was putting the muzzle on, but the dog would still try to bite me with the muzzle on. And I'm like, this dog clearly is super aggressive. God forbid you tried to feed it. There was food anywhere where we tried to eat. Like it was just always a nightmare with the dog. And I'm like, I understand. Like, I understand it's not the dog's fault, but I'm looking around, and if it's not the dog's fault, and I'm new, I mean, I wonder who else it could be that is responsible for this. And then it's like, it's not like I want to feel uncomfortable there. I absolutely would love for the dog to have not been biting me. I mean, like really, I would have loved to have not been bit by a dog. That should go without saying. But also, like, it doesn't change the fact that I would have to add that into my calculations about like where I felt comfortable. You know what I mean?
Right.
As with a partner.
Yolanda says, dogs were there first. Enough said.
Yeah.
Quill says, okay, so you know what you were signing up for because she had dogs.
Yeah, these people.
I love her next comment.
Camilla says, well, I hate my dogs because I get rid of my blankets. LOL. He LOL'd people, so relax.
All right.
Wait, you missed Q's comment before that one.
You hauling.
It's just she said plus lesbians, so they are moving in together. What a week.
Yeah, that's I guess that's one of the stereotypes.
Oh,
relationships
I read it wrong. I'm sorry, I read it wrong. Plus they're lesbians. So they were moving in and been together what, a week?
Yeah,
that's a thing. She teaches me, and she taught me that that's a thing, and it is called U-hauling.
Yeah.
It's, also called being from Miami. It's very common in both heterosexual and homosexual relationships. If you're from Miami,
fucked up housing economy. Yeah,
sure. It's like,
actually, now I think about
I have it as a bit in my act where it's like that's how we make it official. Like, hey, you want to make this exclusive? All right, we'll sign here, initial there, and here are the keys. It's every 15th of the month. That's when the rent is due. Like that's
let's figure this shit out.
That it was like a guy, like the way relationships work in Miami is that you're dating, you live with your parents for way too long, then you start dating. And then the guy moves into the girl's parents' house. You know what I mean? Like there's that transition where you just end up in their efficiency or something like that.
Chiquita says, Chiquita Sanchez Lopez, which by the way, awesome name, love it.
Yes.
Says king size bed, baby. Here's what I will say to that. I draw the line at sleeping with the animal. That's where I love animals. I have dogs. I have 2 dogs, and I have multiple times throughout the years told because one of our dogs is a he likes to dig holes in the backyard.
He's great.
Your dogs are active dogs.
Well, so, you have a male and a female dog. Clearly, we know which one it is. Don't call them out on the show like that so aggressively.
So
name names.
But even with that said, I have told my wife there's never going to be a moment where we are dogless in this house. Like I enjoy having dogs. I enjoy having the companionship of dogs. Yeah. So I say that to say I love dogs, but I'm not sleeping with them on the bed, and I will never allow that to happen. That's an okay border to have. That's an okay, like, hey, okay, I get it. You have dogs. They've been with you for 8 and 11 years. How about they just don't sleep in the bed? I don't give a fuck what's. I'm not on the floor with them. Why would I care if they're on the same floor? Why do I care that they're sharing a floor with me? Like I don't understand. Why is that a big deal to that woman?
That was a weird line for her to have.
Yeah,
like I understand having the discussion for the bed because I let my dog sleep in the bed, dependent with an asterisk. Like my small dogs that I've had, if they haven't been outside and they're clean. If they've done anything, been outside, been messy, then it's like, that's probably not.
I had an issue with that as well, where like I started seeing someone who let because they were, like that's the thing about if you date, like I've been independent for so long, I lived on my own for so long. I can only imagine if a girl has lived independently for so long, you feel like you've earned this like right to your space, and when anyone kind of fits into it, it's a struggle. You have to like kind of. You're used to living in your own space. And if you have pets and you're the way that you've used your space is to let them be in the bed with you, there will be some period of adjustment. That being said, like one of my like someone I was seeing a long time ago, their dogs were dirty, like dirty. And I felt, and the apartment was like dirty. And I was like, this is not welcoming to me to come into your home and to sleep over. Like, your dogs are visibly dirty. You've had flea problems with these dogs. You know what I mean? Like, that's not just a thing that happened. Like, I understand you love dogs, but if you're a dog lover, that doesn't mean you have to like acquiesce to the fact that there's going to be fucking fleas in your house all the time. Like, that's not right.
But part of being a dog lover is taking care of your dog.
Yeah,
exactly. That's properly taking care of your animal. I mean, like, it's
same thing with boyfriends.
Yeah,
you love him. Please. You take care of your boyfriend, and then you train him to not pee around the toilet seat. You train him. You got to be like,
does he also not sleep in the bed then?
Well, now that he's dirty.
If I'm dirty,
you got to clean him first, and then you got to let him allow him in the bed.
Or whatever, but I mean, at the very least, like,
when he's dirty is when I like him in bed.
There has to be a period of adjustment. So I've just received confirmation that Chiquita, that's my girlfriend.
Oh, I knew that.
Remember you named her? I just wanted to make sure.
Welcome.
What are the chances that there is a fucking Chiquita Sanchez?
Well, I knew that was her because of the Chiquita Sanchez Lopez.
Yeah,
because that's a name. But I didn't want to be like, oh, I know who that is. I was like, I get like you're trying to be incognito.
No, we did it in the show last time.
Yeah, I know, but I didn't want to bring it up now and be like, this is Mike's girlfriend, everybody. I'm like, I know. I
wanted to confirm it because, it's Miami. There's a reasonable chance that there could be company named.
The chance isn't zero.
I mean, it's a non-zero possibility of there being an actual Chiquita Sanchez, whatever Lopez situation going on.
Have I been off center the whole fucking show? Jesus Christ.
No, you're good, man. You're fine.
Be professional.
You're just noticing now?
Yeah, that I'm off center. Like, it's so weird. I'm like, why is there so much fucking room on this side of the fucking screen? Hilda says, when I was still single, one of the things I would judge new boyfriends on is how they treated my dog.
Oh, yeah.
My 100-pound dog, Sophia, it's my daughter's name, would quickly tell me if she did not approve.
Always
now, let me ask you a question. Hilda, would she tell you, or would she like?
Hilda, is she speaking to you right now?
Yeah.
Are we? Is she in the room with us right now? No, I remember her. I love that dog. She's a big dog.
Yolanda
she was a sweet dog too, so she would have like not been mean to.
I've never had a problem with any dog. I've never had a problem with anybody who I dated dog or anybody who. Even if I was friends, I've never been to a friend's house, male or female's friend's house, and their dogs had problem with me. I've never.
Those dogs.
Yeah. I'm like that with the parents.
Oh yeah, I'm way better with the parents than I am with the girl. Like, fuck. Like, I for this, I have relationship with parents with girls that I haven't dated in decades, and I still have relationships because there was a girl one time that I dated that her mom was very strict on her. She was a single mom, very strict on her, and she verbally said, "If Neri's going, I'll allow you to go wherever you want to go."
Oh,
it said that in front of me, and I was like, really? Because I want to take it to Pound Town.
Yeah.
So I just want to make sure you're also okay with that, Mom. Yeah. And she was, and it was good.
You didn't say that out loud, right?
No, in my head. Listen, Mike, what's the other one? We have enough time. We have 10 more minutes.
Yeah. Let's do the other one. I like this. I think this one's it's a little bit longer, but it's good. Yeah, it's got more meat. And you know how I like him with am I the asshole for bringing my own food to my mother? Oh, hello. Am I the asshole for bringing my own food to my mother-in-law's house?
Yes.
Well, hold on. Let's get to the story. My mother-in-law.
Either yes or they're vegan. One of the two.
Here we go. Don't get ahead of the story.
Also, you're still an asshole for being a vegan. But go ahead, continue.
My mother-in-law hosted a barbecue at her house last weekend. I have several serious food intolerances as well as food allergies. Yes. So I have to be very careful while I am eating food. When I'm eating food I have not prepared, or if I do not know what is in it. My mother-in-law is very aware of my food allergies and tolerances: lactose intolerant, egg allergy, shellfish allergy, strawberry allergy.
My God, stay home.
They
Throw her
sound
back, bro. Throw her back.
It sucks.
no, come on, that's rude. And it's been
Okay.
and
It's also a joke,
has
Mike.
been. Don't be mean. I don't get irony. I have been for 22 and has been for 22 years that we have been married.
Oh, she's
Oh
much.
wow.
Oh.
My
She's
mother-in-law is one of those people.
He's gonna
Ooh.
punch you.
Guys, let me fucking read so we can get through it quickly. My mother-in-law is one of those people who believe that you eat what is served or you do not eat at all, and that food allergies are something that people make up in their heads. I asked her. I asked her what she was serving at the barbecue to see if there would be one, anything I could eat, and two, if I needed to be concerned about anything that she was serving. Most of everything she was planning to serve contained something that I could not eat. This is not the first time that she has served food that I am unable to eat. At Thanksgiving 2 years ago, the only thing I could eat were the dinner rolls and the salad.
Well,
She got super
welcome. You're welcome.
Shut up. She got super offended that I did not eat and called me over dramatic. If I eat before I go and do not eat anything, she guilt trips me and tries to get me to eat. So this time I discussed with my spouse the possibility of me bringing my own food to my mother-in-law's house. They agreed with me that it was a good idea, but warned me not to let the mother-in-law see. I brought 2 small containers to the barbecue in a cooler bag and put it under my chair. When it was time to eat, I quietly served myself from the containers. Ooh, mistake number 1. And put my plate on the table. Mistake number 2. When my mother-in-law saw that I was eating food that was different from everyone else's, she immediately got upset and told me how rude I was to bring food. I explained to her that nothing she was serving was food I could eat safely. And she went on about how I always have to make myself the center of attention. My spouse told a mother-in-law that she is known for almost 2 decades that I have food allergies, so it should not shock her that after years of being unable to eat at family gatherings, I would bring my own food. Father-in-law then got up and told us we were both being rude and disrespectful to the mother-in-law, as she has spent tons of money and time preparing for this barbecue. Spouse grabbed our things and we left after a few more choice words from their parents.
Good.
Our united relationship. That's the most I've ever seen this on these posts.
Yeah, right.
Our phones have been blowing up nonstop. Some people agreeing with that mother-in-law is overreacting. Others think that I should have eaten what I could out of politeness or eaten before I came. I'm really torn and upset. I did not mean to cause drama. I am hurt that spouse is arguing with their parents. I did not mean to offend mother-in-law and certainly not ruin a barbecue. Am I the asshole for bringing my own food to the mother-in-law's barbecue?
It's weird that they refuse to use any pronouns.
Interesting, right?
Interesting choice of
That's a good way to keep you bias out. Yeah.
Spouses, father-in-law, mother-in-law. There's no he, she, my husband, my wife. There's no pronouns.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it was just a weird artistic choice, I guess.
That also feels like a strategy, because there will be gender biases as you're reading this stuff, because mother-in-laws and the wives sometimes have like this default trope of a conflict going on. So
yeah.
What? That's
what? Neri, please, you have to tell us if something's wrong. So
blink if you're in trouble.
Blink, yes. Morse code. But as someone who in the medical has seen people almost die because they eat one peanut or one walnut, like that shit is scary, and to have that is like a big burden on your own life, and to have not your partner's family not give a shit is like a big it feels like a big violation. I don't think she's an asshole for 22 years.
Yeah, so Dave only in the last few years has realized that he's lactose intolerant, which is a person who's a fan of cheese. Super sad.
That's so sad.
Yeah, he's lactose intolerant, and he also has intolerances toward eggs. So like dairy. I mean, if the egg is made inside some sort of product and dispersed, he's fine. But he's straight up like brunch and him don't get along. He can't, because eggs and everything. It's part of everything. Our friends have learned to accommodate so damn quickly, and even our own, just like our friend group that we see here and there every couple of months, they will go and make food specifically for him.
Yeah, but
so your mother-in-law can definitely fucking do it.
Your friends are Australian. they're default nicer than everybody else in the fucking like. That's not.
I don't know about that, man.
They're way
what
fucking.
kind of? They're nice,
way
but
nicer than Americans. Get the fuck out of here, bro.
Sure.
Way-
Overall, I had way
everybody's
more
nice.
conversations with people here.
yeah. You're right.
Yeah,
You're
that's
right.
my
But
day.
they do. They're
I think
not
the only
like
ones that give them a run
Canadians.
for their money as far as nice are Canadians. That's like, well, the fucking
All right.
nice off. It's like, hey, no, you go first, eh? No, you go first, mate. Like it's like that.
Sorry.
Fucking,
Yeah. First of all,
Spot
like,
on.
brilliant accents.
I felt like I was there. I was transported.
Yeah. Second of all,
my nickname is Chameleon.
it's not even that they're asking her. She brought her own food so that she could live. You know what I mean? Like she didn't ask her to do anything.
Or at the very least, not just be on the like toilet the entire time. Like,
And what bothers me about this is also
Which,
like,
quite frankly, given the interactions of this story, would have been an upgrade.
yeah. I mean, the part,
Yolanda agrees that she should stay home.
interesting.
I think she said that before you
Before we got through it.
actually read through.
Wait
She
a-
says, "Give me a break. The mother-in-law needs
Yes.
to
Okay.
grow up."
I was gonna have a conversation with Yolanda about throw up the deuces. That's right, Jamia.
Jamia says, "Throw
Jamia.
up the deuces."
Get out of there. But it is like it's hard because now the family, like the part that bothers me the most is where the mother-in-law, you always have to make this about you. And it's like, I was trying to eat my shit quietly and you're making it a big deal. Like that part bothers me where it's like, hey, you're the asshole that, oh, I guess we nailed it. But yeah, you're the asshole that's trying to kill me. And I'm just trying to not die. So I brought my own food. I didn't even make a
Let
big
me
deal.
live in peace.
I just sat quietly with my little fucking boring meal that doesn't have shellfish or eggs or milk or strawberries in it.
Or flavor.
Or
Any of these things. Now, here's what I like. I like the fact that because you always got to be the center of attention. It's like, if I die, don't you think it'd be more the center of attention?
Yeah.
Like,
No, because
there'll
then
be
the
a
mother-in-law will go to
funeral. There'll be a
jail
whole
and like
funeral. Yeah, there's gonna
she's
be a whole funeral for me, and I'll be in a casket, and I'll be in the center of the room. Like I would literally be the center of attention if I die. I'm trying to save you from that, bro. Like it's not, Wow.
yes, but then the proceeding, like the court case that comes after that is
Yeah.
the mother-in-law's center of attention. So like, the trade-off.
You know what I think is this mother-in-law has been trying to poison this woman for years, and she finally got wise to bring her own food.
I
And then
don't-
she's like, no.
I don't
Yeah.
understand. I know I'm sorry for opening up a can of worms, but I just don't get the rivalries, the in-law rivalry stuff. I don't understand it. And I think, can't we all just get along? Like life is stressful.
That'd be
enough.
nice. It'd be nice. I've
any
had
kind
some
I think any kind of in-law rivalries, or not rivalries, in-laws,
Tension, whatever.
arguing or tension or whatever, however you want to phrase it, I think could be equated to the same thing as "Am I the asshole?" threads. It's the lack of communication, right, from one person or the other, or from both, but it's
and it's not people not being able to set out their limitations and the boundaries, and like people not being able to adjust to new ways that relationships are going to work in different like phases of their life.
22 years have gone by.
And that's the other thing
That's
is that
wild to me.
Yeah,
that
because my
was the-
mother-in-law is an actual angel. Like, she's freaking great.
Yeah.
And the only times we've ever butt heads, we've literally sat down with each other and like actually like talked it out and actually explained what was happening with both of us. And we were like,
wait, you
cool.
didn't make a post on "Am I the asshole?" and then show it to them later, where you rip them apart and call them a bitch and shit.
Just sit down with a cup of tea. Talk it out.
Well, now I think you're doing it wrong. I mean, it's just for pure.
Yolanda also loves her mother-in-law.
Well, yeah, my
She
grandma's
says,
dope.
Epic drinking cup, Mike Mercadal.
Oh,
what's your cup?
This you see this here? This was a birthday gift from Chiquita, and she doesn't. This is a D&D inspired. She doesn't really know.
Yeah.
She's like just supportive of how much I love Dungeons and Dragons, and she's like, "Yeah, get you a fucking dragon goblet," and I'm like, "Nailed it! First birthday, fucking crushed it."
I'll send her some other little gift
Nice.
tips in D&D
And
world.
Next year, she could get you a plate. The year after that, she gets you a
Nice.
set. She's fucking set for the next few years. Like, all I gotta do is get this dumb nerd some fucking silverware that has dragons on it, and he's fucking in.
But she's got to be careful
Or-
because in traditional culture, giving someone a knife is a marriage proposal. So once we get to knife, we gotta.
We just get him this.
Ooh. Only half of this show. The bottom half of the screen is super into it, and then the top half is like.
I don't know what the fuck.
Hilda says,
told me green rocks. I was like, I don't know what that is.
They're beautiful.
Hilda says that so thankful. My in-laws are so cool. I can't imagine that kind of stress.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, to a certain extent, you marry the family.
Yeah.
You're marrying your partner, but you also got to marry the family. And I do think that, like, you know how people use the phrase "blood is thicker than water." That phrase is used wrong all the time.
Yeah.
It's like the blood of the covenant is stronger than the water of the womb. It means the blood of that you spill or choose or whatever the stuff that you choose, your covenants that you make in life are stronger.
Found family.
Yes, that's the
what
point.
I feel. Yeah,
that's the point of the thing.
I was having this conversation with my wife, and this is kind of a side thing now, but I was having this conversation with my wife this past week, where there's a part of me in our Hispanic and our Latin heritage and Latin culture that I love the fact that we are family orientated, right? There's a part of me that enjoys that, but there is a negative to that too, because a lot of times we allow people to be fucking toxic to us.
Yeah.
Quote unquote, because they're family. Oh, that's just the way my brother is, or that's just the way my aunt is, or that's just the way my mom is, or who insert whatever fucking relationship.
Or we're supposed forced to forgive each other for shit that we shouldn't really. Oh, okay.
Oh no, Neri's in-laws killed him.
Oh no, it's so funny. You want to laugh? I literally was like, "Who's missing? Who left?" Because I seen you three, and I was like, "Who fucking left? Who left?" The wire touched the screen. I have a touch screen.
The mother-in-laws are feel.
So I was having this conversation with my wife. I was like, you know, as much as I love the fact that Latinos, we are very family oriented, I don't think it's right to be around toxic people only because they're family. Or let them slide on shit, or let them keep mistreating us because they're fucking Oh, that's just my brother. You know, my sister likes doing it's fucking wrong. Like, that person is toxic. And what I was talking to my sister about, I was like, you know, if somebody in your family's not treating you right, like we were talking about, it was a third party involved, and their you know, their siblings were acting dickheadish to them, and I was like, dude, if the only thing keeping you in this relationship is the fact that you have the same parents, like, that's not family. Like, that's not you know what I mean? Like, it's not. It's sad to say, I guess, but it's like that shouldn't keep you in a toxic situation just because you happen to have the same parents. Do you guys get along otherwise? Do you guys get along as human beings? Like, it's not. I don't think that should be the end all. Oh, it's it. Well, they're family, so I gotta take everything they give me. Like, nah, bro.
You are initially connected to your family. Those connections have to be cultivated and maintained like any other friendship or relationship. It's not just a given that you're going to be relating or associating with these people forever. Like, I am super thankful. I love my parents, and I love my brothers, and I love my family. And
Yolanda?
I said my parents.
Good save. Yeah, good save.
I love.
I don't know why you got to flip her off, but fuck, all right.
Yeah. That's the relationship. Yeah, fuck you, Neri. I mean, Yolanda. But it is true. Like, your family is your family is the default settings, and then you customize the thing as you get older. You know, like, you can choose to just abandon whatever it is you're given in life. If you look, that's why I fully support like people who make the choice in their life to be trans, to go through the transition process to because it's not that they're changing who they are, is that they're changing their default settings to the life that they want to live. The same way, like, if you work out and you
what feels true to them,
what feels true to them, you're building the person you want to be up here physically, however you want to build yourself into who you want to be, that is healthy and beneficial to you in whatever way that then by all means. You know, I hate when people are like, oh, I don't like people to change their pronouns. Oh, that's not your name. Like, I'm not going to call you by your new name. It's like, motherfucker, you ask people to call you Tito. That's not your fucking name. You know what I mean? Like, you ask people to call you some fucking dumbass nickname. That's not your name. You know what I mean? Like,
delicious.
Yeah. I'm not going to call a grown man delicious.
I'm a grown ass man, dog. I ain't calling him delicious.
Yeah.
Let's get to some comments here.
Yeah. So I have this like weird thing with Dave where we have this agreement where later on, when we start having the conversation with our kids about different ways people choose to identify and how they feel comfortable and stuff like that, if our kids ever get to the place where they've decided, like, they have realized that maybe they're living within the wrong gender or whatever, and they want to go through a name change, the one request I have is like, I want to be involved.
Yeah.
Because I named you, I brought you into the
kid.
world. I don't need to name you, but I at least want to warn you if you're naming yourself like Chad.
Oh, yeah,
you know, if you're naming yourself something, I want to be like, maybe not that one.
You just because then you get to come up with all the insults that they would hear, and it's got to be cathartic, to be honest. Like, it's got to be good to be calling yourself like, what are you gonna? It's like, just like start making fun of their name before.
Exactly. Like, look, this is the brainstorming I went through before I gave you your first name, your dead name. Like, I want to help you.
If my kids ever go through that situation, I want them to know that I am much more accepting of that than if they be like, hey, I think I'm a Republican. I'm like, well, no.
Not under my roof.
Not if you live in my house, you
get
are
the
not
fuck out of
be
lift
an
yourself
asshole.
up by your bootstraps, which is another phrase that people use inaccurately. It's supposed to be something impossible.
Says, I die by the hands of Tanya only because I'm too lazy to cook. I don't know who Tanya is.
Tanya's my mom.
Yeah.
Oh no, she. Like my Cuban mom is not gonna like assault my girlfriend if she doesn't feed me. I can feed myself because my mom did a good job of teaching me how to cook for myself.
Yeah, because she kicked you out early at an early age, so you learned that shit real quick.
There's no need to go into details.
I'm still healing. I'm still healing. Hold on.
Jamia says, damn, that was on point. Neri, Hilda also agrees with me. My friend Olivia says, Mike, you know you are looking at a lot of TikTok. Welcome to the dark side.
I didn't want to. It was against my will.
Yeah, Yolanda says, Neri, you nailed it. Life is too short to be around people who bring you down, even if they are connected to you through DNA. Like, that's my whole point. It's like, dude, just because they're your family doesn't mean sometimes family drags you down worse than your enemies. That is correct. Yolanda says, oh, because you flipped her off. So she was like, oh, that means a lot. And then Tanya, we have Mama Mercadal here, says, not in a million. I will cook something especially, she put the E, especially for you. She didn't.
I love this.
I love seeing this in the comments right now. It makes me so happy.
This is so Que Pasa USA. It's ridiculous. Like, my whole family is in the background of every show that we do. Like, just living.
You have a good family.
Just like little cameos coming through.
Yeah.
Yolanda's the one that the crowd like claps for when she like comes in and does like a one-liner.
Woo!
Yeah, like your mom is the one that everyone goes, oh.
Yes, that's right.
So we all agree that mom's the asshole here, not the poster.
Anybody who doesn't, because the family is splitting off. Like they're saying that it's causing this divide, and it kind of should, because it's like, hey man, it's fucked. Like, the people who are siding with this person are not assholes. Anyone who's like, hey, you should have been fine. It's like, motherfucker, she's trying to kill me. You know what I mean? Like, I could die. Like, you don't understand.
Again, trying to be the center of
attention. Yeah.
Missy,
the strawberry one is rare too. So like,
I'm allergic to penicillin. She's gonna come at me with a syringe. Like, yeah. You know, like,
I don't believe
allergies. I'm gonna test it.
What, you don't like fucking, you don't eat salads with a little penicillin dressing on it? You don't what's going on? Tanya says, yes, the mom is the asshole.
Yes.
We agree, Tanya. All right, so thank you guys for checking us out. That is the podcast. We are an hour and 40 minutes. If you're listening to this on the audio version, please be aware that you can go back and watch the video version so you can see Mike flipping off Yolanda on video on Facebook or YouTube or Twitch. The videos are still there, so make sure you guys check that out. Check out Missy's writing on her Instagram at Missy the Writer. Her website is still in production and it will be up soon, but her writing, check out the writing on her Instagram.
It's all backwards. I can't fucking orientate there.
Babe, just do this.
You're not doing it correctly, right?
You go to the other side.
Yeah.
No, I was pointing at you. I was trying to figure out how to point at you.
Oh, that's so sweet. I'm so tired. I'm so tired.
Like, this is the nicest I've ever seen Missy, so she must be very tired right now.
So tired.
Anyways, make sure you check out Mike's Instagram and his other podcast at Mike Mercadal.
Oh, can I plug a thing? We just did our Mike Contextualizes the Universe WandaVision episode, and we're going to be doing the Disney Plus shows as we go through, as Alex watches them, because he's one of those binge watchers.
Per episodes?
No, the whole show.
All right.
So it's not per
Okay.
episode. So, but because Alex, I'm a weekly watcher, and then my co-host Alex Murray is binge watcher. So he waited for all of them to come out, and I've been like, hey, so we have a podcast, like we do a thing, but it's on video. We did a video version of it that's live right now. The audio is going to come out in a little bit, but the video is on youtube.com. Go to my Twitter. It's up there. I'm going to post it there.
At Mike Mercadal. Make sure you
At
check
Mike
that out.
Mercadal.
Chiquita, one last comment. Chiquita says Missy is coming to New York. She said it. Yes, you did. She said it.
Yes.
I did. Okay.
So
who needs a savings account? Fuck
just
it.
Make sure to wear a mask. Because
I'm gonna wear 2 face condoms.
Yes, because now you know what happens up here if you don't wear a mask.
Yeah.
Some guy jumps out of them.
I might Gilead myself and just sew my mouth together.
Make sure you check out my Nary Signs at Nary Signs on everything except for TikTok. It's Nary Signs Comedy because I got beat out to that because I didn't think TikTok would take off, and it did. So because I'm not a genius, I didn't know to invest.
Oh
in that
my
product
god!
early on.
Wait, is there another Nary Science?
There's multiple. I am friends on Instagram with a Nary Signs. She lives in Peru, I think it was. I maybe fucked that up, but she travels a lot to Spain and Miami, and we are friends on Instagram. We comment on each other's shit. She has changed her display name since becoming friends on Instagram. So now it doesn't say Nary Signs, but I know that when we originally became friends, it was because she was she's Nary Signs. Yeah. And she's not the same person who took my TikTok. No.
I was like, you could trade.
Wow.
No.
So anyways, check that out. I'm trying to learn this TikTok shit, so I'm posting videos on TikTok. So I'm trying to learn, man. So make sure you guys check that out. My stand-up, I still post videos on my stand-up on my Instagram. If you're not following me on Instagram, please follow me on Instagram. I'm trying to grow my Instagram, trying to get to that elusive 10,000 followers, just so I could get that swipe up feature, because that's all I give a fuck about, really. Anyways, you guys are doing great. Make sure you check out the other podcasts on the Geek Bro Network, including, pero let me tell you, the Mount Geekmore podcast, the Child Like at Best with Mike Valdez, and there was another one. Oh, Shiver's coming back. So Shiver, the horror movie podcast, is coming back. So make sure you guys check that out. Oh, and a Dose of Eli. So thank you guys for checking us out. That's how winning is done.
Missed it by that much.